Hello everyone. I just thought I would go ahead and update y'all on what just all happened at my doctor's appointment, which I'm going to reiterate myself a little bit in case anybody's just coming into this. Of course, I'm afflicted with Morgellons, which also one of the co-infectious diseases of that is Lyme. I've already unequivocally been positive at least on one occasion, if not more. My doctor can't seem to get his numbers straight. Was recently violated by his fill-in doctor and humiliated and demeaned given the nature of Morgellons, etc. I was able to tell my doctor that fact today, face to face. He suggested, because I don't want to carry that further, doctor lifted my shirt and was proceeding to my bra and had nudged that little cart up under the door and tried to claim I was insane in the brain, right, due to the nature of Morgellons. However, so he tried to utilize that and violate me, totally humiliate me, etc. That said, I don't want to carry that further, although I want to make my statement aware. I want it to be known so that that does not happen to another patient. Should have not happened to me. It should not happen to anybody else. So I want to make sure my input there is known. I made myself very verbal today. He told me to write a letter to his office, stating that what occurred. So I guess that's my next step. I know better than to carry it further, however, because it would only further traumatize myself. If I were to try to go further with this, it would only make things worse on me. And I'm already going through enough, so I'm not going to do that. But I am going to make sure that that is on file so that it doesn't happen to somebody else. And I hope that any of you, should that occur to you, please do the same. Because if you don't speak up, then that doctor or whoever, doesn't matter what profession they're in, is going to feel that they can get away with it and they might do worse to the next person. So always make sure that you vocalize or at least file a statement. If you don't want to carry yourself through further trauma like myself, please at least, put something in writing, do something so that it's on file, so that that doctor cannot just carry on, or whoever, their misdeeds. Anyway, you'll have to forgive me. I just got done walking. I'm already ADD, memory issues. I'm getting frequent headaches again, severely. I've had one right now. I don't know, it might be a migraine. I don't know the difference really, but it feels like it's probably a migraine. It's right in the center of my forehead. It's really severe. It has been for about 24 hours or more. So my headaches are stepping up a notch. It's like I told the doctor, though, Morgellons explains most of, the symptoms that I suffer. The chronic fatigue, the anxiety, the insomnia, the joint pain, all of it. It explains so much. I already had the back disability, and that's part of the factor, and I already had depression, but so much is explained by just the Morgellons and the Lyme alone. After sharing my story about what the previous doctor did to me, we got into a discussion about medications, etc. We discussed, because I am a chronic depressive with past suicidal tendencies. One was almost very successful, guys, years ago. Although I have had ideations, I don't know, like 6 months ago. I did not act on them, however. But I was going through extreme pain. The Morgellons lesions and spores were really, really tremendously bad and excruciatingly painful. Now that's kind of leveled off for me a little bit. I'm in a little bit happier place now. I do my best to keep my happy center, guys. I really do, and I think most of you know that. Yeah, I may drink, I may self-medicate, but I'm supposed to be on narcotics for my back. I'm not. I'm dealing with all this with the Lyme and Morgellons, and I can't even get my doctor to get this straight. I'm constantly being humiliated, demeaned, etc. But he listened to me a little bit today. What I found to be unfortunate is, last night, generally, guys, I attack all this with the powers of positivity. It's out of my control, and I choose the path of least resistance. I choose to do my best to just attack this with powers of positivity. I believe in the laws of attraction. I believe, and that's what I got. It's my faith, my hope, and the powers of positivity, and that's what I got, guys. So that's what I do. I don't spend too much time focusing on my affliction or anything negative. So I don't focus too much on anybody else's story either, or researching the Morgellons or anything, because I feel like it's out of my control. So why focus on it? However, last night I listened to a couple interviews that Jeremy McAfee had out with a couple different doctors, one being Dr. Ginger Savely. I hope I'm saying that right. And I felt both interviews, I forget the other doctor's name, said my headache and my ADD, I just really having a hard time even thinking and concentrating right now. But both were very excellent, I felt, personally. They were excellent interviews, a lot of information to be had there. If you have not checked them out, be sure to. I will provide the link for the one with Dr. Ginger Savely down below on my YouTube channel, due to the fact that she provided her email information not for us to address her and tell our sad story, but she can, because apparently they work with Charles E. Holman Foundation, and they're able to educate other medical peers, you know, the other fellow doctors and physicians. So she is willing to allow a doctor to email her, say your family practitioner, to email her on your treatment. So if you have not, in fact, if you are Morgellons and Lyme afflicted, she was a family practitioner. She's worked with Lyme for years. This woman is amazing, has a very open mind. She's written a book on Morgellons, the whole nine, guys. Be sure to listen to her interview. It's only approximately an hour long. It is worth listening to. What I find to be sad, though, I tell my doctor, you know, I've told him, I've seen him for years now. I said, if you could at least, he had somebody aside from myself going years ago with the same symptoms, saying the same things, although he did insinuate out initially that I was just insane until I proved myself with the unequivocally positive Lyme test, of course. He had somebody else coming years ago with the same symptoms, but yet the man has still not researched, still has not learned anything, still thinks we're just crazy, right? Insane. Rather than taking the time to research it, that was one of the first things I told him upon seeing him was, please take a moment to research it. Not the first link that says we're just crazy people because the media hyped up and the CDC, you know, default and they're not so good research and all the, you know, anyway. So I told him, please, I said, because Morgellons is killing people, and if it doesn't kill them, people are taking their own selves out to end this. He has not done nothing, and I was asking if he could at very least be empathetic to what I was going through, and at very least email her that she would be willing to let him know what he could do to help treat me. Well, I guess my life is so unimportant and of less value than his, because he can't find the time. These doctors really email back too much information and I'm just too busy. I guess my life is that irrelevant to him. But he did go to great lengths to make sure. They just did another Lyme test on me. I'll be waiting for those results. Although an IgG, I believe, is what he said. That means that it's simply you had it before. It doesn't necessarily mean it's chronic. It doesn't. But those are clinical tests. Of course, they're not as necessarily good as somebody in research. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Hopefully I can prove myself further. He can at least get me back on an antibiotic treatment to help knock out what ails me. He said he'd be willing to put me on more doxycycline. He's willing to give me Amoxil for my teeth. We'd also discussed the fact I've never been diagnosed with ADD, but even he said, oh, it's obvious you are. Because I lose train of thought. I'm all over the place. I mean, I'm always flipping channels in my brain, you know. I'm just kind of hyper in that area. But anyway, I'll have to continue this later if I left anything out, etc. Just wanted to update y'all. Much love. Snugglebug. Take care.